Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful fall day here in November in Canada, and we're out here with this interesting machine doing a process that a lot of people around here do in the fall, and that is weed control for next year. Well, Crackpot, how are you doing weed control for next year already in the fall? Well, let me tell you about this. So next year, on this land here, we are planning to plant yellow mustard. Now, yellow mustard is very competitive against some weeds, but there are certain ones that you can't control in crop with herbicides, like kochia. Now, kochia is prolific out here, so if we can't control it in crop, we have to find a better way to do it. And that is where this stuff comes in. This is Treflan, or Edge. You did not see me use my bare hand on that. And what this does is when it's applied to the ground and with the activation of moisture, it actually will prevent kochia from germinating or at least getting very far as a plant. So we're going to put that out here this fall. How exactly do we do that? So we put the Edge, or whatever other granular chemical we want to use, into this machine and we drive it along the field. I'm using the green truck today to pull it along, and we spread that stuff out over top of the field so that it can do its job. So let's show you how the machine works. So thanks to gravity, 9.81 meters per second squared, the product falls down here onto these meter rollers. Now these meter rollers turn. I can't turn it, of course, because I don't have the clutches on. And the product comes out from underneath the meter down here, and it falls into one of these chutes, and those chutes lead to each one of those hoses. There's air blown into here by a giant fan. There's a venturi down at the bottom of these, so the product falls into it and is sucked in and blown out into the rest of the machine. So how this roller is driven, we have the ground tire here, and then we have the drive wheel that can be moved. When I move that lever to the front, this drive tire works against the ground tire, and it turns. And through this gearbox that we can select all the different gears in, it then follows this chain to the back to a jack shaft, through electric clutches that are right there at the back. And when I turn this wheel, it turns the roller. Now, that yellow stripe on top of the roller is so that even through the plexiglass from the truck, I can see if that roller is turning. Here from the back of the machine, the drive tire is up there, we can see the jack shaft, and we can also see the two electric clutches that allow us to drive each meter independently, so we can only run half the machine if we need to. And here's the fan that is used to drive the air into the whole system to actually make it all work. When the fan is running, we have a pressure gauge here that tells us how much air pressure we're making, so we can tell if the fan is actually doing its job, and only run the fan as fast as we need to move however much product we're trying to blow through the booms. So it's not really that complicated of a machine. It's actually fairly simple to run, so let's take you inside the cab and show you just how we do that. So inside the cab of my truck, I've packed a few little extra gizmos in here. This is actually the GPS out of one of our machines. If you've seen a lot of my videos before, you'll notice it looks like the one that's in the swather, which is exactly true. I have the antenna there. Hey, if it looks silly and it works, it ain't silly. And so that's how the GPS works. I have it plugged into a power outlet there and onto the antenna on the roof. And I just use it as guidance. So I use the light bar up here to tell me if I'm online or offline. Moving on to the controller for the Valmar itself. That's all it is here. We only really use the on-off switch and the left-right. The fan isn't running right now, so if I turn this on, get a bit of a squeal, which is the alarm to tell me that the fan isn't on. And with this knob here, I can select the left or the right or both of the clutches, so I can run either just one side or both at the same time. The other knob that's on that controller is used for an alternative rate or the standard rate, but this machine doesn't have that feature, so we don't use it. Alright, so that's a quick tour of how the machine works and what it does. So how about let's close it all up, fire up the fan, and let's jump in the truck and go for a quick spin. All right, let's go. All right, Let's see how well I can do maintaining a line and shooting a video and holding a camera all at the same time. Should be kind of fun. So the GPS is running. I'm kind of going by the lines in the field. You can kind of see, as well as I'm actually watching the numbers and the lights on the GPS here. It's not imperative that I get super duper close because it's just a broadcasting unit. You know, the breeze moves a little bit and whatnot. So if I'm a foot off, it's not really a big deal. You can't see very well because of course the camera in the way, but out the back window, you can kind of sort of watch the meter rollers going around. That's why I have the end gate down. Tactical child sport. So yeah, that's about what it's like. I sometimes go a bit faster if the field is smooth. This one's kind of bumpy, so we're gonna go a little bit slower. That's about what we do with this machine. We drive back and forth for a while, get about 100 acres on a fill, and then we go home and do it again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.